Why, hello YouTube. Here I am in Astoria, Oregon. It's a beautiful day, and I thought I'd take you along for my little ride here. Take a look at the beautiful Astoria Riverwalk. So I'll talk here and there, but really it's just right along. Famous old bridge. So going to the left, that's Washington State and the city of Long Beach. This little spot here, this is the start, the northern terminus of the northwest terminus of the Trans-America Trail. So as you're looking, this is obviously the old railroad used to run through here. Now the only thing that runs through here is like a little tourist trolley that comes by like every hour. Beautiful day. There's always 4 or 5 freighters parked out here. This is where they stop and wait. So today is a Wednesday, so there's not going to be a whole lot of tourists here. On the weekend, the place is just packed. All the tourists are covered with oil. So this entire river walk's about 3.5 miles long, I think. Astoria is an old town, so there are a lot of old buildings, and a lot of the buildings are in a state of falling apart, but like the one on the left, that's getting rebuilt. Right here on my left is a good place to see sea lions. Let's go check and see if there is some here that seals can get up on. Yeah, there's seals. Very sleepy. Okay, back on the road. So if you look on the right, that's downtown Astoria. I'll do that in another day. And here comes the trolley. How perfect. I planned it just like this. I'll pull over here and wait for him to go by. Wow, that train was packed. So down in this section here, there are several restaurants. This one up on the right, Astoria Brewing, is really good. My wife and I have gone there a few times. Very pretty. All right. So there was a lot of Norwegians who came here in the early days, and this little monument is a example of one of the Norwegian monuments. Over to the right there, that's the best frozen custard in the world. If you've never had frozen custard, it's basically like ice cream. Coming up on the Coast Guard Museum, the Maritime Museum. A lot of interesting exhibits. I'll go over and look at a couple boats here for you. So I've never seen the red boat there leave. I think it's just a permanently docked there. Huge propeller. So I've traveled this way probably 100 times, and I always go around here in the back. Oh, it's closed. Oh, because they're doing work on the shingles. Okay, well, I'll go the other way. So they're building some kind of new museum here. I've never gotten the story. Looks impressive. Looks like a big wave. That was probably the intention. So over on the right there, that's an old Coast Guard boat that they mounted there. It makes me seasick just to look at it. The bar here, what's known as the Columbia Bar, it's where the Columbia River. This is what, in case I didn't inform you, this is the Columbia River, and the ocean is only about a mile in back of me. So when the big river meets a big ocean, it makes for really rough seas, and a lot of boats have sunk off of this area, or what's called Cape Disappointment. To your left. Thank you. So at one time, they thought that Astoria was going to be the next San Francisco, but that never happened. Portland ended up being a bigger town. At one point in time, this was like, I think, one of the leading salmon canning towns in America. And a lot of the old salmon canneries are still here, like the one on the left. When you see all these old posts or pilings out of the water, that was where an old cannery was. And they're all over the place. I mean, there must have just been hundreds of big canning operations here in town. Now, there's no longer a railroad service to Astoria. This is just a dead line.
Decent amount more than I do, but like.
So you might be hearing the sound of seals. I'll get a good close-up of them when I get close. Kindergarten Cop was filmed here in Astoria, as well as the Goonies. And if you look over to the left, that's where all the seal noise is coming from. All right, onward. And this little area on the right is a frequent, like a little bakery and honey salesman. So if you look right up on the right, bumpy road. If you look right up the hill, that's the coffee shop that was in the Goonies. And the Goonies house is straight up the hill on the left. So up on the left is Pier 39. I'll go through that. It's really cute. Pretty crowded today. I've been here when there's like one or two cars, that's it. Get off and walk.
Yeah.
So there's a nice museum here. So this at one time was just another old cannery, and it shows some of the pictures of the ladies. They have a few old boats here. There's a restaurant down there. Really good coffee shop here, the Coffee Girl. Some dude has his law office here. Nice place to sit out and have coffee. It must have been grueling work to just process endless salmon here. Probably smelled great. Not. The cannery bunkhouse. I've never heard the story on that. Did people actually stay there? Probably. Well, I'm really putting the Insta360 anti-vibration. So this here is the end of the line for the trolley, but I'll go further. So it's blackberry season, and boy, there's a lot of blackberries. Delicious. See if I can get to this bridge before this lady does. On your left. Hello.
Hi.
Beautiful, huh? It sucks to live here. You know, people talk about the rain. I didn't think it rains that much. The summers are usually bone dry. In fact, my grass is on the dead side. They use this route a lot for, you know, 5Ks and that kind of thing, runs and. Got his headphones on. Everybody does though, so it does no good to yell. On your left, sir. Hello. Excuse me. here is the official end of the Riverwalk. So I'll go up a bit further. If you want to see some of the neighborhoods, they have some really cute old homes up on the hills there. And then that leads to another little park and back to the trail where Pier 39 is. Yes, I've explored. Long way from the rag bride, huh? Long way. Giving you a little tour of Astoria. Pretty old homes. So right here we go back on another bike path back to Pier 39. Gravel. So we came in on that little train track on the right to get your bearings. just the end of August, but it smells like fall. So back on the Astoria Riverwalk. To your right is Pier 39. So, this concludes my tour of the Astoria Riverwalk and a little bit of Astoria neighborhoods. So I hope you like that, and we'll see you on the trail. Bye-bye. One last look at the beautiful Astoria trolley. He's still loaded. Here's a better look at all the pilings. If you look out to the right, all those pilings once had canneries on them. Another beautiful view of the bridge.